Hi and welcome to another recipe on Rob Kennedy Cooking. It's a Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and I hope you're all energized, ready to do some cooking. It is still morning, but we're going to do probably a bit of a brunch snack again. So I'm going to show you how to make some really easy salmon fish cakes. Now, there is a process behind making them salmon fish cakes from the raw product right to that plated product that I'll be showing you in a couple of minutes. But first of all, what you need to do is get yourself some salmon. So I've got about a 100-gram piece of salmon here. It's been skinned and boned, and also a Maris type of potato. So a medium-sized potato is around about 100 grams. You need to peel that and dice it very small. Then pop both into a pan of stock, vegetable stock or fish stock. Use a little stock cube, that would be easy for you. And then bring that to the boiling water, and 12 minutes just ticking over. And that will soften that potato and also make that fish cooked and nice and moist. So, fast forwarding, you get your salmon and your potatoes into a bowl, and then add to that what you want. So if you want a Thai fish cake, add some ginger and some lime. I've kept this very traditional, and the recipe will be uploaded onto my new Facebook page, Rob Kennedy Cooking. So that's going to have a lot more photos on it and a lot more step-by-step guides. So as I am talking about it on the channel, you can then go back to the website or the Facebook page, and you can have a look at what that step or that process of the cooking looks like. I'll also put some notes down there, some tips, and we'll have a real good connection between us, not just on the channel, but also, as I said, on that Facebook page, Rob Kennedy Cooking. So back to the recipe. Your salmon's in there, nice and soft, and your potatoes are cooked. Leave it to strain and cool, and even dry a little bit for about 5 minutes. And then get a back of a spoon and just mash that down. Now with this particular mix, what I've added to it is just some chives and some capers, squeeze a lemon, some spring onion, and it's absolutely, I just want to eat it now. But the secret I've done as well is I've added a teaspoon of yogurt. Now what the yogurt does, the natural yogurt just keeps it lovely and moist. Now when you've got this mix, it's quite cool now, so it's very easy to work with. Using the tablespoon, you're literally going to take, that's all you need, a little ball, and just pat that down. That's one. We'll get 4 out of this mix. Now I'm making kind of bite-sized snacky ones, but you know, you could go a little bit bigger, you could even go a little bit smaller, and you could almost do ones for like canapes. You know, if you just had like a dinner party or a finger food or outside. So you pop your 4 on there, we get 1 more tablespoon, there we go. And they're going to pop in there. Now what you do need to do now is obviously wash your hands. It's quite a messy job, this one. So just wash the hands quickly there. There's going to be 2 occasions we're going to have to do that because it is quite messy, but it's good fun, it's good fun. Pop them in the fridge now. And what you'll do is you'll go through some flour, some egg and some breadcrumb, okay? So we'll just take one of them out, just to show you that process. So dry hand into the flour. We've put a little bit of seasoning in the flour and the egg and the breadcrumb. Goes into your egg, but use the opposite hand. Real key that, so you're not too messy. And then you're going to go into that breadcrumb and just give that a little coating. And they'll even get a little bit bigger at this stage as well. Pop that onto your plate. And then in the fridge, we need to set that so that breadcrumb sets onto that egg. So around about 20 minutes would be great. Let's pop that in there. Bring out then and quickly wash your hands again. There we go. So we've actually earlier breadcrumbed these, and I've got the 4 there. So say we just clear the chopping board a little bit, and what you're going to do now is cook them. So we're going to spark up the heat, and we're going to add to that pan just a little bit of oil. Actually, thinking about it, I quite like the sound of them bite-sized ones, because I can imagine now that, you know, you can probably hear we've got 4. That's out of 100 grams of potato, 100 grams of, you know, salmon. You know, your average piece of salmon is about 200 grams, so you're going to multiply it. So you don't need a lot of ingredient to actually make this. So 4 of them, yeah, that will kind of easily do 1 person. So out of a whole piece of salmon for 200 grams, obviously that's 2 people. We get that heating up ever so slightly, and we're just going to toast these. Now, because these have been in the fridge for around about, let's say 20 minutes, even half an hour, they have set and firmed up a little bit, which is exactly what we want. And we're going to pop them now into our oil. So I used a little bit of rapeseed oil, but you can use a bit of olive oil if you want, or vegetable oil, whatever's in your cupboard. So we'll just clear down that now. I think I'm working really clean today, which is quite nice. Although I don't always work clean, of course. So we keep that cooking. Now, when in this recipe, I've added some capers to that mix. Now, when you do use capers, obviously they're quite common with fish, but you do have to be conscious that the quantity of salt you add, because a caper actually is quite salty to eat. But obviously, I have mentioned the other flavours you can do with these, in particular the Thai. So that would be very, very nice, you know, with that. A little bit of ginger, a little bit of lime, still keep the spring onion, even some red chilli, just to give it a little bit of temperature. When I said you've got your salmon and your potato there, you can add to that what you want. That's the base of your mix, so you know, make it your own. That's the secret. So we're going to just turn these over now. I'm just going to add a little bit of butter, and they'll just start cooking. Now, they do absorb quite a lot of the oil. You can see you get a nice golden colour on them. There we go. That butter's just going to soften. You don't have to use butter. You can just use the oil. You know, if you're not a big fan of butter, obviously just leave it out and just use the oil. Give them a spin. And what you're going to do now is just pop them onto a little tray. There we go. 2, 3, 4. Now, they can go literally in an oven around about 170, 180, just to warm through. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm just going to prepare a little salad as well to go with them. So we'll pop them in there, literally for 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll get a bowl up. And I've got here some rocket leaf. So in there, let's pop our rocket leaf in there. You can use any kind of leaf, you know, make this again your own. Baby gem, anything like that would be nice. Cos lettuce, something a bit crunchy. And I've got here, just in season, some asparagus. So we're just going to peel some asparagus. And the reason I've peeled it is it stays really nice and thin. And just peel away until you've literally just got a really thin stem. There you go, there's no harm eating it all. And with the bit that's left over, we're just going to chop that tip just in half and pop that in there. And then with these other bits, just give them nice little slices and pop that in there as well. We'll just use one for this recipe, and squeeze a lime, which will make it really nice and acidic, and also cook that asparagus a little bit. So just a tiny squeeze of lime. And then I've got some peas, so we're coming to spring now with that asparagus, and some beetroot. Okay, just a few little chives in there. We'll just add a tiny little pinch of salt and some pepper, and now we'll give that a mix. So I like the beetroot in this because it's quite sweet. The asparagus, as I said, just come into season, which is nice. Keep it all in the bowl there, just give that a nice little mix, there we go. And that lime juice now is enough to dress that, so we pop that up onto a plate. There we go. It looks very, very colourful, and I bet it tastes obviously delicious. You get that nice sweetness from the peas and the beetroot, and kind of a nutty flavour from asparagus, which will be really, really tasty. There you go, that looks really, really kind of spring summery. And now we get our fish cakes. They've been in the oven for a couple of minutes. They're quite hot, so we just get our little, and then we just kind of pop these on the top. And then I like to finish them with a little bit Just a little bit of salad cream, just drizzled over the top. And a few more fresh chives. There we go. Happy days. Now, we'll come round for our usual camera shot. And there we have the fish cakes. You can see they're nice and golden brown. Got another bit of salad cream just as dressing, and then you've got the beetroot peas, asparagus, a little bit of lime juice and that peppery rocket leaf, and to me that is a perfect kind of like spring summery dish that you're going to eat indoors while it's pouring with rain. But it's a fish cake recipe, so enjoy that, keep that in the bank for a nice day, and have a great week. Keep yourselves nice and safe, do plenty of cooking, and I'll catch up with you Saturday morning at 11 AM.